To the latest from the Africa Cup of Nations next, and host Ivory Coast managed to beat Senegal last night. France 24's James Vasina is standing by in Abidjan with the latest. James, this win must still be on everyone's lips.
Well, it is. It's a breath of fresh air for hosts and for fans here in Abidjan and in the country as a whole. Unbelievably, Ivory Coast managing to beat Senegal on penalties on top of that last night, meaning that the defending champions crashed out. An unexpected win, we've got to say that, for the Ivory Coast last night after a terrible group stage, but they came round transformed, a transformed team on the pitch that showed that they could manage the game, they could dictate the pace of the play. And well, for now, for fans after last night, after the parties for tonight, well, it's back to work as well, because many Ivorians get half of the day off when the team plays here. And it's also back to work, as we can imagine, for the players, especially for one man, Seko Fofana, who was extremely impressive in midfield last night. He was running absolutely everywhere and giving it his absolute best. So Ivory Coast will soon also, in the next couple of hours, be finding out who they'll be playing in the quarterfinals.
And James, we got the last games of the final 16 left.
Right, that's right. So the first game is going to determine who Ivory Coast's opponents will be. That will be running between Mali and Burkina Faso. Two teams pretty similar on paper and have had a similar journey to their round of 16 clash today. There was, of course, that 2-0 win for Mali at the beginning. Quite impressive, but after that, all they got was draws, and Burkina Faso did manage to hold on to that 2-2 draw against Algeria. So can expect quite a tight game coming from them, and the winner of that one will then be facing the host nation. So that is quite daunting for them to imagine coming down the line. After that, there'll also be Morocco facing South Africa. Of course, Morocco slightly weakened in their squads since the previous matches. Sofiane Boufal is the end of the tournament for him. We're waiting to find out from Hakim Ziyech whether he will be playing or not. He was taken off earlier on in their previous game. We'll see whether he's fit to play today. But even if two of these big players are unavailable for the Atlas Lions have a lot of quality throughout the pitch, and they will be very, very dangerous for the South African side. But as the South African manager does say, it's not because you've got the best teams and the best players that you do necessarily win games in this tournament, as we've seen, especially case in point just last night for the host nation coming up against Senegal, in that who weren't tipped as beating the defending champions. But who knows, South Africa coming up today against Morocco will be a tough one, but I'm going to leave you on this, Delano. So they did manage to beat them in the qualifiers for this very tournament. That was back in June with a 2-1 win then over Morocco.